If your type 4 natural hair feels stuck and you've been dumping cloves and rosemary into every oil you make, praying for growth, listen to me for the next 10 minutes. Because you're not crazy and your hair isn't broken, you are just using the wrong ingredients for the scalp you have right now. I'm a med student and it took me 2 years of failed routines to realize this. We spend all this time talking about hair growth oils like they are magic potions. But your scalp is skin, and skin follows biochemistry. Once I learned that, everything changed. This is what I wish someone had told me on day one. Welcome to Growth Garden. About the big mistake we all make. Here's the mistake I see every day in DMs and comments. We treat hair growth like one problem with one solution, but your scalp can be in three different states. 1. Inflamed and irritated. That is when your scalp is itchy, flaky, red when it is burning. Number 2. Stagnant and slow. That is when your scalp is calm, no itch, but growth feels frozen. Number 3. Balanced. Here, you don't have any issues at all, you are just maintaining. Cloves and rosemary solve different problems. If you use cloves on a stagnant scalp, you will irritate it. If you use rosemary on an inflamed scalp, you will make the itch worse. It is like taking painkillers for a broken leg and wondering why it is not healing. That is why some people say, cloves destroy my edges, while others say, cloves saved my scalp. Both can be true. It depends on what your scalp needed that month. Now let's start with rosemary because this is the one that blew up on TikTok. I mean, this is the one with a whole lot of hype right now. The reason your auntie swears by rosemary water isn't just tradition. The main compound in rosemary is rosmarinic acid, and it does two things that matter for hair. First, microcirculation. That is a fancy way of saying it opens up the tiny blood vessels around your follicles. Think of your follicle like a plant. If the soil is dry and the water pipes are clogged, nothing grows. Rosemary widens those pipes. More blood flow means more oxygen, more nutrients, more of the raw materials your follicle needs to push out a strand of hair. If your scalp is healthy but stagnant, if it's been 6 months and you're stuck at the same length, rosemary is basically knocking on your follicle saying, wake up, it is time to work. This is why postpartum moms and people recovering from stress shedding see results with rosemary. The follicles aren't dead, they are just asleep. Number 2, DHT blocking. DHT is dihydrotestosterone. It is a hormone that binds to follicles and shrinks them over time. That is why some people lose density at the edges and crown even in their 20s. So, my amazing ladies, if your scalp is not itchy, if it is not flaky, if it doesn't burn when you touch it, but your growth feels slow, rosemary is your girl. Heat stimulation plus protection is very important for your hair. That is why Growth Garden always includes rosemary in our length retention blends. Now let's talk cloves because this one gets misused the most. Cloves smell strong for a reason. The main active compound in cloves is eugenol, and eugenol is a beast. Dentists even use it to numb gums before procedures. Is antifungal, antibacterial, and anti-inflammatory. If your scalp is itchy, flaky, red, or you've got that low-grade burn that never goes away, you don't have a growth problem, you have an inflammation problem. And an inflamed scalp cannot grow hair. It is like trying to plant seeds in concrete. Here is what is happening. Malassezia yeast lives on everyone's scalp. It is normal. But when it overgrows due to sweat, oil, buildup, or humidity, it triggers dandruff, itch, and inflammation. That inflammation puts your follicles into defense mode. They stop producing hair, and some go into shedding to protect themselves. I mean, they go into an aging phase all at once. Eugenol from cloves kills that yeast and calms the inflammatory response. It is not stimulating growth directly, but it is clearing the battlefield so your follicles can even try at least. This is why some people use cloves and see an immediate drop in shedding and itch within a week. Their shedding wasn't genetic, it was inflammation. Remove the inflammation and the hair stops falling. But here is the warning. If you use too much cloves on a dry, sensitive, non-flaky scalp, you will get burning, irritation, and reactive shedding because you are treating a problem you don't have. Eugenol is potent, more is not better, so tread with caution. So here is the growth guarding rule I use with every client now. Diagnose your scalp before you pick your ratio. Take 10 seconds right now. Pause this video, alright? Run your fingers through your scalp. Don't scratch, just feel. Now, if it itch, flakes, redness, pain, that's constant low-grade burn. It simply means inflammation and yeast overgrowth. Your ratio is 70% cloves and 30% rosemary. Why? The reason is fix the scalp first, growth follows. Use this ratio for 4 to 6 weeks, then reassess. Next, if after filling your scalp and it's calm, no itch, no flakes, but your hair won't move past shoulder length, wash day looks like the same as last month, it simply means there is poor circulation and follicle stagnation. Your ratio should be 70% rosemary, 30% cloves. Why? Because you need stimulation and DHT protection. The clove here is just to keep the scalp environment clean while rosemary does the work. Next, if after filling your scalp and there's no itch, no flakes, no pain, scalp feels normal, it simply means you are on maintenance mode. Your ratio is 50-50. Why? Keep things balanced, prevent future inflammation while maintaining circulation. Let me quickly give you 2 real examples so this sticks. Alright? A friend came to me with edges that were thinning and a scalp that burned every night. She had been using rosemary oil 3 times a week for 4 months. Nothing changed. Why? Because her scalp was inflamed. We switched her to a 70/30 Clove rosemary blend for 6 weeks. The burning stopped in week 2. By week 6, the itch was gone and she started seeing baby hairs. We didn't stimulate growth first, we calmed the scalp first. Another of my friend was the opposite. She was having no itch, no flakes, but she had been at the same length for a year. Her scalp was calm but stagnant. We switched her to a 70/30 rosemary Cloves. By month 3, she had gained 2 inches because we gave her follicles the blood flow they needed. Your scalp is telling you what it needs. You just have to listen. Now, let's quickly talk about dosage, safety, and the mistake that ruins progress. And please stop using essential oils undiluted. I don't care what TikTok says. Essential oils are concentrated plant compound. Undiluted, they can cause chemical burns. For 100 ml of carrier oil like jojoba, grapeseed, or sweet almond, use 10 to 15 drops total of essential oil. If you are going heavy on cloves, cap it at 8 drops. Always patch test on your inner arm for 24 hours before putting it on your scalp. More than that, and you will cross the line from therapeutic to irritating. Inflammation kills growth faster than anything else. I have seen a lot of people set themselves back 3 months because they thought if 5 drops work, 20 drops will work faster. That is not how biochemistry works. Also, don't use clove oil every single day. 2 to 3 times a week maximum, alright? Your scalp needs time to recover. Overuse is why people get that cloves made my hair fall out experience. At Growth Garden, we don't believe in one size fits all oils, alright? Because your scalp at 22 with an itchy, flaky scalp is not the same as your scalp at 25 when it is calm but stagnant. Your hormones change, your stress levels change, the weather changes, your scalp changes, your routine has to shift with you. This is why I hate the idea of one magic oil forever. You need to check in with your scalp every 2 to 3 months. What was it saying 3 months ago? What was it saying now? If you have been using rosemary for 6 months and suddenly you are itchy, stop and ask why. Maybe you developed dandruff. Maybe you need to switch to the Clove heavy ratio for a bit. So, before you make your next batch of oil, pause. Look at your scalp. Be honest. Is it screaming for calm or begging for stimulation? Drop in the comments. Is your scalp itchy or just slow right now? Tell me, and I'll tell you what ratio to start with in your next growth garden mix. If this video made sense in a way no other hair video has, please do well to hit like and subscribe. Every Wednesday, I break down the science behind type 4 natural hair so you stop guessing and start growing. This is Growth Garden. Let's grow it right. And that's a wrap for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to water your hair as always, my amazing ladies. May your hair be luscious and may your scalp be happy. Bye for now and see you in my next video.